Hitting it and live. And we're live.
All right.
Let me,
Offensive things, swear words, swear words.
let's
get,
see.
get canceled, get canceled.
Let me see. Yeah, I do like the Jay with his pants down. I thought that was pretty funny. From the Jay and Silent Bob, like
Yeah, that is
redeemables.
kind of fun with the little blur or whatever.
Yeah, hanging out with his wing at.
And that one's a redeemable, isn't it?
It is honestly I just like the fucking
I just think it's funny if they could do like a
yeah.
physical blur, pixelated blur, you know?
Yeah. I just like the animation on the artwork is great where he just like he have you seen it where he does like the here I'll share my screen. He does like the Silence of the Lambs pose kind of like he tucks his cock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he like pulls it down and then he like crosses his legs like you
Oh,
know
that totally is like the Buffalo
yeah
Bills.
like the would you fuck me yeah
Yeah,
I'd fuck me.
that is true.
I really like that. I think that's really well done and I'm not about to drop up someone else already beat me to the punch by 1,000 wax but
Damn.
I might be able to get it after the redeemables are
Yeah, see, the thing that always
distributed.
gets me as like wax fluctuates in price is that from the wax distribution pool standpoint, 1,000 wax is one wax E, no matter what the price of wax
Yeah,
is. And so I always kind of conceptualize it in that way, where like,
yeah,
man, would I spend one wax E on this? Because I could totally add this to the
right.
distribution pool. So um that's why I think I like accumulating at lower prices, and I feel leery when I spend like a couple hundred wax, even though it's like $20 or whatever. It's like, oh man, do I want to though? That's 1/5 of one
Yeah,
wax E.
yeah. I'm in the same way, especially now when the stuff is like, oh, it's like 20 wax, but 20 wax is like 200 or $20, but 250 wax or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. That feels like more than it needs to be, like in
Yeah,
wax.
and like I wax is the only one that I really do that with, where I think about it in
Yeah,
terms of wax value rather than US dollar value. Whereas I
yeah,
always try to conceptualize in US dollar value in with most other cryptos.
yeah. It's definitely I feel the same way about wax. I think it's because we're like spoiled by having been in wax when it was worth so much that now we just see the wax amounts that stuff is going for. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and
It's
honestly,
harder
like
to it's harder to spend.
I never been this early on stuff, you know, like so it is fun to like be a part of something on the ground floor. I feel like I'm always like chasing the hype in my crypto experience. You know, because I got in
Yeah,
during the was it 2017 when it was the last like kind of big bull cycles, the ICO craze. I really
yeah.
bit the bull on that one and like bought Neo when it was like $100.
Oh
All this
no,
other shit like
I remember
what was it like what was the V chain was always a big one. V chain's still around, but
V-Chain's still trucking too. Like they got some serious like oomph, like big corporate sponsors with like the UFC and stuff like that.
yeah,
And
fuck,
they
there was a few other ones that I just were total crash and burns, but anyway, yeah.
they sure were. Yeah, the ICO craze got me pretty good too. It was a
But
good lesson to
so it
learn
feels good to
firsthand.
be like, oh wow, I'm early on something and it's legitimate. I'm not just chasing like, you know, the hype train. So in that way I like to, you know, stay well positioned in wax because obviously we're invested for the long term. We have our own collection. We have an NFT brand that's steeped in wax, so it's pretty easy to be bullish long term when we're so intrinsically tied to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, was it Snoochie Boochies? No, or is
Snoochie
that
Boochies. That's right.
oh no, Woogity Woogity. I keep mixing up
Woogity woogity woogity.
Jay and Silent Bob terms and Rocket Power.
Yeah, it's the Jane Sound drop. I missed. I had two browser tabs open. I wasn't as sweaty as the multi accounters, so I was in queue and it sold out. But you know, whatever. Let's see how much the aftermarket goes for. 25 on the smaller packs and 56. So okay, the 56 I think is closer to what the sale price was, right? It's
I got some
$30.
compliments on my Neon Space shirt at the store the other day.
Oh hell yeah.
They had no idea what the fuck it was, but they're like, "Oh, cool shirt. That's a really sweet brand." It's like, it is. Thank you.
You goddamn right. You goddamn right it is. Yeah, that's great. Ooh, Chronic Mint 22. Epic animated. 250. See, that's 21 bucks, but 230 wax feels like a lot of wax.
So we were just talking about we didn't buy in on the Funko drop. Personally, like I wasn't too high on the redeemables to really chase. Um, I'm really stoked about the Hanna-Barbera drop. I definitely am going to go on that one. The NFTs are sweet. We've talked about it multiple times before, but like they've definitely upped their game on the quality of the artwork on the NFT side.
Yeah, they're very cool. They're getting better like every drop they do too, which is really cool. Still going through here. This is probably my favorite one.
But I don't know if we were live about that, but yeah, we were talking about how that's like Buffalo Bill and like the Silence of the Lambs.
Right? And because Jay does that, fucking, he imitates Buffalo Bill in that dance. I think it's even to Goodbye Horses, if I remember correctly.
Is there music to it?
Yeah, it's the Goodbye Horses song.
Oh no, I
You
just
know,
mean on the NFT.
oh, on the NFT. I don't think so. No. No dice. Oh, and there's the back card. Oh, that's fun too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of Funko's NFTs. That's this Freddy Funko with Mubi. That's pretty funny too. And then you got Mubi in the background. This is a common though, so definitely not 1100 wax. There's definitely quite a few of these that I can scoop up, but I think at this point I'm going to wait till after the redemption cycle happens. I think that's kind of the play with the Funko NFT side of the collections.
Yeah, if you like the NFT piece, yeah, that's the way to get it for cheap.
That's great too. The blunt man with the bong saber. Dig it. Nice solid loops too. I felt like the what is it? Scooby Doo like one was one of my favorites with all the like villains and stuff running through the doors and being chased. I thought that was great.
Well, I don't know who else. Have you been playing Metaversus with Lou? Sounds like he's been going hard on that.
I haven't been playing like multiplayer. I played a few rounds. I want to unlock some characters, but Lou's definitely way ahead of me.
So there is multiplayer in the beta.
I think yeah, you can like team up with people and do like 2v2s.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah. Speaking of Scooby Doo, I just know Shaggy is like a character in it. That's pretty funny.
Shaggy and Velma.
Oh, and Velma. Oh, that's right. She has like the super where she looks for clues or whatever. Right?
Yeah, and you could say throw jinkies at people. Find clues
hilarious.
and call the police.
Oh my gosh, Velma is a narc.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. This is the redeemable for the gas mask character. I wasn't a big fan of this. Honestly, I guess I just missed this sequence in the movies because I don't remember this gas mask thing.
Yeah, I just feel like you don't really actually see the character, you know?
Yeah, as a redeemable, I don't know. It just doesn't register for me as Silent Bob. But not to try to shit on anyone who does like it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like,
I would have liked a Blunt Man and Chronic redeemable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed. I wasn't quite sure what the response would be. You know, is like, is there a big Clerks contingent? I mean, it seems like there's overlap in the Funko community with like people who would be into Clerks, but I wasn't quite sure how fast or slow it would sell out. So that's cool that it had a big appetite for it.
Yeah, the pack like supply I think wasn't that crazy either. Let's see, it was like
it's a smaller size of sale, and yeah. Although it's the same price as just less packs, I think.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a crazy big drop for Funko standards. It's still pretty big. I mean, you got 6,500 packs times 2.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you got to put it in Funko perspective.
Yeah,
I wonder how Warsaken's doing. Have you checked Warsaken? They had insane pack numbers. I mean, I get it though. So like, if you're someone who hears about it along the way, you can just go and buy it.
Let's see.
But I'm
Warsake.
curious over time how many people have bought those packs. Like you go to the website, see
Let's see.
how the sales doing.
Forsaken. Did their like gameplay come out yet?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't followed that closely. I have like some cards enough to play. I bought a few packs on drop day, but I haven't really. I guess I should have been claiming loot the whole time, and I just haven't.
It's 25 wax. That's not terrible. Now that the wax
43, yeah, so like 60,000 packs. So it looks like they've sold. What was
43
it?
is still available, I think.
So they've sold a decent bit of packs. I mean, it looks misleading because of the numbers. If you scroll up a little bit, like that premium pack or the elite pack, it looks like they sold what, like 10,000 or 20,000 of those. So they've sold a shit ton of packs. Okay.
Yeah.
So
bunch. Yeah, they definitely sold quite a few without it being, that's a lot of packs, even on Funko standards. So
yeah, so I wasn't quite sure because it was kind of a slow a slow trickle on drop day, but I mean that was months ago. That was like in the wow, what was that? That was like in the winter time. So like over 6-7 months ago.
This is like millions of wax in sales.
Yeah, so is anyone into Forsaken? Where are they at these days?
Yeah, they've definitely made a decent amount of money, so
they got room for develop. I mean, I know Luz mentioned that you can play it on like Tabletopia, I think, which is like a third party, but it's not like their full platform.
You can make so you could like they have a little like interface for cards and packs and decks that you have, and then the battle list still says coming soon apparently.
Although, like, I left their Discord because I just got spammed to shit. Like,
yeah, a lot of people would hit me
when
up.
you get like spam DMs and you can see your mutual servers. It's usually Forsaken. So, like, they did an invite contest way back when they first started, and that just attracts all those spam bots. So, there's a way that you can do it. The way that we do it in our Discord is that you are assigned a certain, like, a no role, and then when you So basically, we assign you a role when you join the Discord, but then you have to click another emoji to get an additional role. So then we can make all of the servers or all of the channels private, except for like a couple, like the welcome screen or whatever. So, but it also removes your previous role. So basically, anyone who just joins the Discord but doesn't actually like click or engage with the rules, they don't see anyone in the members list, because everyone else doesn't share a role with them anymore. So we can basically create a public-private split. I don't know. I'm going into the weeds here. But anyway, the idea is like a lot of these spam bots will join a Discord. They don't click on the rules or try to actually join it. They just want to get far enough so they can see all the members lists. And if you don't need to actually engage with anything to see all the members, it's easier to bot and automate. And then they can just hang out in the background and then just have a whole plethora of potential people to spam. So we try our best to like navigate that. Now, how well that scales, we only have like, 800-900 people in our Discord. Forsaken has like 20,000 or something. So like,
but is it 20,000 people or is it
less that's people, true.
More bots?
I'm just saying that solution. I'm not sure how well it scales. In theory, it does, but like, we have to do some stuff manually to do it. Like Lewis will like manually remove certain things periodically.
The Brawlers is going under 50 million now. You got like a few days left of this. I only have one match left on my ring, so I'll be good. But then I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm writing mine out too. I got a last minute gold. I have 3 matches left, and I got another gold. So I think
I did too.
I'm gonna end on 4. Wait. I'll have 3 total rings, and I pulled 9 gold. So that's way above average.
Yeah, damn. Well done. That's like 3 per fucking ring. You're dramatically outperforming.
I think you were supposed to get 1.5 per ring.
Also, have you noticed that the pile of coins here is getting lower?
Like really? No,
it used to be higher, right? Like, is that just me, or is this pile is shrinking? Right? Like, it's a nice touch. I think it is. I feel like this pile was
Are you
higher.
going from 2 to 3 coins or 3 to 4 coins? Because mine's going 3 to 4 coins in the middle.
Yeah, mine's. I guess. Huh.
It
That's
is a cool
one,
neon
two.
style, though. It's definitely like that. Definitely lays the
Yeah,
groundwork for us to pitch
yeah,
a neon space blockchain brawlers collab. Now that
yeah.
we're
This is a great. I really like their little.
you know what
I
you should
swear
do
this
is
is getting smaller.
you should challenge Mike from Wax Studios to a game of Magic. Beat him in Magic, and if you win, we get a prominent collab with blockchain brawlers and Wax
This
Studios.
the stakes have never been higher. I like that. Let's see. I also like these. The way that these look is just great. They're too pricey for me, but like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah, that is a nice attention to detail for sure.
Like the animation loops are super fluid, and like this whole thing keeps like looping, and then you got the camera of it happening here, and these guys doing like their own thing, and everything's like timed out.
Okay, so you're right.
I
It
like
was
it.
like 10 high, and now it's reduced. So that
Okay,
is kind of
okay. I was gonna say it definitely feels like it's way lower now.
but yeah, it's cool. Those NFTs for the lands kind of show like the actual utility of it in an artistic way because it not only shows like the ring, which you're supposed to like
Yeah,
create the stage for it, but it also has the conveyor belt showing all the
yeah.
packs.
The brawl
And that
going, the tokens going in, the packs coming out. Like that's
yeah,
really
and it's
fucking
all
cool.
a player crafted economy, so that's what the utility of the land ownership does. So it's like kind of a cool attention to detail.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's a nice looking NFT. It's definitely not on my like range here at $3,000, but
Yeah. Uh,
it is it is nice looking. Let's see, price lowest. We can get one. Yeah, no, that's the cheapest one. $3,000.
but yeah, you
Damn.
can buy into a common pretty easily. I haven't checked the market lately, but it is relatively cheap because everyone's dumping their Scotty farms on the market.
Yeah,
So,
let's see. If
so
we go to
you can get
brawlers.
one for a decent price. I haven't bought one yet, but I saw they were in if you go to common, like the naughty Scotties were like in the 300 wax range. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well, 265, 24 bones for a naughty Scotty.
So like it was 4,700 brawl and 4 gold to craft one, but you can basically I think maybe like 2,000 brawl will get you enough wax to buy it. So it's more advantageous to just sell out rather than craft it.
You can even get an injured Scotty.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference between like I think the OG Scotty and then the injured Scotty are distinctly different from the previous phase, and then Naughty Scotty's slightly below that. But I'm honestly not
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
This is where we need Lewis.
It's definitely becoming more like enterable at $24. I'm like, yeah, people could actually buy into this as a game versus like as an investment.
Yeah, I mean this is absolutely not financial advice, but as far as the utility of Brawl, the way that they've described the gameplay is that Brawl will be far more prominent in its uses and sinks in the next phase of the PvP game. And there will also be like a marketplace where you buy these like playing card packs with Brawl or gold or wax. So if you if you're like Mike Yeller Belly like us and you're kind of limped in and you weren't there at the initial cycle, you could at least like kind of hold on to your Brawl. I don't to save for the next game. But as far as what the value of being wax, I don't want to speculate. But just
Yeah,
if you're trying to understand what the next phase of the gameplay is to make a decision from there.
it looks like I have made by the end of this next round, I'll have made about 1,200 brawl and one spare gold from my buying of a what was it artifact pack. I think I bought the artifact pack for like $30 ish. Just probably, I guess, if I had waited, I could probably buy the brawl and the naughty Scotty on the secondary market for less than that. But then I wouldn't have been brawling this whole time. So right now,
Yeah,
the
one part I'm not
the
sure
yellow
about
belly.
is if you need like multiple brawlers. I haven't read too deep into it, but
I
if
think
you
it's just
like,
one, but I'm not sure either.
okay, there might be cooldowns or something too.
Okay, here you go. The uncommon 760 now. The epic. Oh, he gets pretty fucking pricey still. He's still 341 bones. The
All right.
rare,
Well, I'm going real quick. I'm going to start a stream Raiders.
the legendary.
I'll just share my screen real quick. Let's see
Damn.
here. How hard do we want to go here?
You have elected the way of pain.
Okay, where are we? I guess we'll go mystery. We'll get weird with it. So this will post a link there. So if you want to join.
Yeah, I agree with Toon too here. When the mining phase ends, I imagine a lot of those Scotty farms are going to dump their Scotties, and they'll be a race to the bottom for those prices.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of waiting for the official end.
Same. I think it's reasonable to expect, like, people who have very, like, a bunch of them to, like, dump them to recover any kind of, like, any kind of recoverable stuff, because they've been, it's a game of, like, making money for a farm like that. So it's not like a speculative game as much as like a calculated move.
But we are Lewisless today. He wasn't feeling well, so this is Tech Talk Day though. So Maxwell, are you following up on your investment again, or are we waiting since you did it so late in the week last week because of the interviews?
No, I think we should follow up with it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess take it with a grain of salt because the last one you did was what, Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
And just for reference, this week we're interviewing Shifty Bears on Thursday at our normal time. So what, 19 UTC. So that'll be the interview portion of the week. But I will load up some. We won't do marbles. Again, like Lewis has all the season stats on his computer locally. So, but it is early in the marble season, so I don't think this will have a dramatic effect on any sort of placement since we just started the newest season at the beginning of July here. So,
yeah,
or Juli for our German friends.
Juli, yeah, very good.
Yeah,
just practicing. Or wait, here it is. July for the
schooner is a sailboat. No, das Boot is a boat. Is schooner a word in German? I don't think so.
I'm not too familiar with like sailing terms. That's kind of like a type of jargon that I don't know. It might be a word in German.
Yeah, well, like, a schooner is a type of boat. A schooner is also a unit of beer. It's like a half beer.
Jane Silent Bob Day. It is. It's already sold out though.
I don't think schooner is a word in German, but I did go on my rant about das
It
Boot.
sounds like it could be like schooner.
Yeah. Yeah, der Schooner.
The schooner. Oh yeah. Take the schooner.
Oh, I see. I don't think I ever saw Mallrats. I saw Clerks, all the Clerks ones. I saw Jane Silent Bob. I really like Dogma. That's probably my favorite of like the Kevin Smith movies is Dogma. I never saw Chasing Amy. I'm looking at that one.
That one's fun. Dogma is really good. Dogma, Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a good point. I did see that one too.
That's a good one. Hi, Sweetness. Yeah, this week in crypto, we got a bit of our sell-off that we were like looking at on Friday. So didn't happen right over the weekend, but definitely.
Yeah, the market was so weird. It's like there's all this chaos and like bad news in the market, and like it was going up. I just don't understand that. So I think it was like maybe investors were aggressively pricing in, expecting really, really bad news, and it was only like bad news. And so in that way, it's like somehow positive in this backwards reverse psychology.
Yeah. Bad news is good news, and catastrophic news is bad news.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like moving the goalposts on what's going to freak you out. But this whole like cope market since COVID is just so strange to me, just because it's just like, it's still like a pretty high. I think even with this correction, it's still higher than it was pre-COVID. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. If you ever watch, there's a show on HBO called Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. He does really good, like I'd say like funny readings of investigatory journalism. That's actually like pretty fucking spot on. And the last episode, he does a deep dive into inflation. It's very interesting, and it's very funny. So if you want to,
Yeah, I do think he does a good
Like,
job in framing
worth it.
things in a going in depth, but keeping it approachable enough that it's not too jargon heavy and you just don't know what's going on. So it's like just the right amount of snippet. It's like, 40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it deep dives enough and explains it in a way that's pretty approachable.
Yeah.
Let's see here real quick. I'm going to do stream racers instead. Let's see what we'll give away.
Yeah, what we got?
Oh, well, someone sent us some Funkos. I don't know.
Oh shit! It is Funko Day. I feel like that's a good giveaway.
Well, someone sent us some stuff. So Versi.wham, thank you.
Hey, dot wham, shout out.
Shout out to his family. Shout out to their family.
Shout out to the dot whams.
Let's see, we got some COS stuff.
Yeah, I traded one of my. I traded one of my ZOS survivors and got a skilled worker instead, kind of like 1-to-1 across trade. Now I'm down to only 8 survivors, but
I think Lewis is giving away some of these worker packs. So I don't want for that Twitter giveaway, so I don't want to screw that up. But
yeah,
cat stickers. I think we're interviewing them, so we'll hold on to that. Got some Neon Sunes. Here, I'll do some Dungeon Master packs. Let's see. Okay, we'll do a Dungeon Master pack for this first race, and then I'll mix it up on the next one. Maybe do this Sune streamer pack, and then do something else after that. So
Tune says don't give away the.
Yeah, I think we have cat stickers on next week, so we'll save that for when we do the interview with them. I'm pretty sure that's next Thursday. So, exclamation point race if you would like to join.
Damn, Tune was quick with that. What up, Eric?
What up?
Pretty good, Missed the Funko drop like most people who aren't bots, but
I mean, right. I don't think it doesn't seem like they've really done anything. I haven't bought
anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same fucking problem I had at the Ninja Turtles drop. Although I got that drop. Wait, no, I didn't. I bought all that shit on the second.
I don't know. People who follow Funko closer than us, this is usually where I need Lewis to correct me when I make lofty statements that I can't back up because I don't pay attention. So if they have done stuff to adjust it, but it seems like the multi-queuing system where you have multiple browsers open to have multiple queues is still a thing. And I think they have limits, right? So I think there is a cooldown on the amount you can buy in one transaction. I think they fixed the glitch that people could just back button and then buy again by circumventing the cooldown. But otherwise,
like the wheel of death is still a problem. It sounds like Eric ran into that. Yeah, I had that happen. I forget which drop it was, but it was a different Funko drop where I made it to the front of the queue and I was like, finally, and then just wheeled to death into nothing. And then by the time I was able to get anywhere, everything was sold out already. But yeah, there's definitely I don't know, why don't they use their drop wallets? Why don't they make users create a drop wallet? Because those are already kind of like KYC wallets, aren't they?
Yeah, although it could be
kind of
at least to the point where you need an email, I believe. Yeah,
why not do that and then do a drop through there somehow? Or it's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think they're that incentivized to do so.
Right.
I mean,
I guess so. Yeah, you make more money if the shit gets botted and your collectors have to buy secondary.
That's the fundamental problem is that, there's integrity to having drops and that affects your reputation if you run poor drops. But for a brand as big as Funko, and I'm not trying to trash on them, they bring a lot of positives to the space. But at the same time, play devil's advocate, their brand is so big that I don't think any sort of brand hit from having shitty drops is going to depress the sales enough to really make it worth the effort, because they're
Yeah.
selling out no matter what. The additional aftermarket sales they get a cut of. So from their perspective, it's great. And
Yeah.
and people keep buying it, and they keep selling out in minutes, and the demand's still there. So I don't know what the tone is from the team itself or from any representatives from Funko. I'd be curious what they say, because I imagine people bitch about it all the time.
Yeah. But
But
that would be the only way that it would show up, because it won't show up in the metrics. Like the metrics will look good if the
true, yeah.
experience is trash. So it's like really comes down to how much do you listen to your community, and then how much do you value that experience over the bottom line of the performance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where are you putting the value and the effort, I guess, is what speaks to where their motivations lie.
Yeah. So I will say this though, they have been improving. They were like first drop was fucking miserable. Like nobody got it, and the people who did were just able to refresh and jump back and keep buying over and over again. So they fixed a few of those issues on the way, and the NFTs, like the quality of the art and stuff, has improved as well. So
Yeah.
I think they're headed in the right direction. It's just kind of like a slow grind for them, just
Yeah,
as it is for kind
exactly.
of everybody.
All right, I'm gonna do a little 1 minute countdown. So for anyone who hasn't joined yet, exclamation point race. This is for a Wombat promo pack season 4, which I think started at the beginning of this month as well.
I think you're right. Got to check on my Novo Pangea workers. I had to feed them this morning.
Oh man, let's see. I started playing Counter-Strike again. It was really brutal. I played very poorly.
Did you used to be like really good at it, or
No, I had a friend or like an old roommate that was like really good. He was on like a team actually, and was would compete in like tournaments, not like in a huge level, but enough like a very low level, kind of minor leagues of Counter-Strike. So I would play with them from time to time, but I never like did it consistently. So, but I watch it all the time. I watch the competitive tournaments, the pro tournaments all the time. So, as far as actual gameplay, it's not a lot. But it's like I used to be pretty good at like shooters back in the day, like back in the Call of Duty days. And man, like either the opponents are just really freaking good, or I'm just really slow. But it's more like my aim. Like I know the game sense really well. I know the maps and the meta really well. It's just a matter of hitting the shots, because like Counter-Strike's very particular that your accuracy is just absolute trash unless you're standing still. And so there's a way that people like kind of jiggle peek, but also like counter their movements, so the game thinks that they're standing still, so the accuracy is. So there's always like little details in this like kind of relatively simple game mechanic that people have played for so long that they just know how to make it exploited in the way that it needs to.
It's simple to understand, but you got to master this weird like finagling to like.
And there's like specific bugs that you just have to know how to work around in certain ways, and
like the BXR in Halo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I get
but
that. I
play casual, and there's a bunch of people smurfing too. So I'm pretty sure it's like partially there's just a bunch of people smurfing in casual, and I'm just not that good.
Smurfing, for the like less nerdy people out there than us, smurfing is when you're good at a game and you play at like a lower rank, like on an alternative account.
Yeah, they do it on alt accounts, so you don't recognize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of pre-firing. Monosuerte has a good point that they just know all the angles and they know the map so well that they can pre-fire every angle, like knowing exactly where their crosshair, so they don't even have to like move their mouse. They just have to like jiggle, peek, and click.
I saw I like Overwatch a lot, and I saw like a like grandmaster like Overwatch player playing as Ana, who has like this move that like puts an enemy to sleep for an amount of time, and he kills the Tracer, which is like a tiny damage character that moves really quickly. He kills the Tracer and then stands and is like, okay, the Tracer is going to spawn and then is going to go off the right side, do 2 phases, and then I'm going to hit him with the sleep dart. He aims his sleep dart, looks and sees that the Tracer respawned, and then he's like, okay, 1, 2 phase, and then he shoots and he hits the fucking tracer from like around the corner, like across the map. I was like, fuck this guy. Like, there's no way I'll ever beat people that sweaty. That's so fucking sweaty.
Yeah, it is kind of cool to just see how good people can get at these games, but it's also so demoralizing because it's just like you're playing just a completely different game than I am.
It's not just that he was that good with the character he was playing. He was that good that he understood the character he was playing against, the moves that he was going to do, how long those moves take, and the cooldowns of them to like expertly hit that shit cross map without looking, which I was just like, like, holy shit, dude. These people are fucking like professionals.
Oh, nice job, Inadequate Mass, taking it home. Yeah, this is called Drunk Driving Simulator. You know, I saw something on Reddit the other day that oh my god, there's a power washing simulator game. It's just really
okay,
insane to me. Like, I always thought like kind of like flight simulator, and then there's like a trucking simulator that people do, and I was like, oh man, all these simulator games get like farming simulators, but power washing, I'm amazed that there's a market for that.
I could see that like being satisfying because you're like cleaning something up, and it's nice to see things go from dirty to clean. It's like watching those videos, like they're strangely satisfying. Yeah,
I can see that.
But to do it digitally does kind of like, I feel like I like seeing it when it's actual dirt. I feel like I don't know if I'd get the same satisfaction seeing like digital dirt being cleaned up. But I haven't tried, so maybe it is just really like
like I get that just the idea is satisfying. I guess maybe do you get the same rush from a digital medium? I don't know. I mean, it's like the opposite of Splatoon, you know.
Oh yeah, I do really like Splatoon. Yeah, that's funny. I also don't mind like that there is this market for like gamers who aren't looking for like competition. You know, like a pretty big market, I would say. Like the I guess like the, what is that game, like Animal Crossings of the gaming space.
I was gonna do, what's it called?
There's no winning.
King of the Pit. That's what it is. So I'm gonna do King of the Pit this time. Give me one sec. This is that moshing game, but I'm trying to mix it up.
Yeah, I could just see somebody like playing that power washing sim game on their computer, and then like you zoom out from them and they're just like sitting in just the fucking pigsky of a fucking mess. But they're like, damn, look how clean I got my my virtual driveway.
My virtual HOA is gonna eat their heart out.
Right? It's like, damn, this is so compliant. It's ridiculous.
All right, so we'll give away the Sune stream pack. So this is something she specifically gives away to other streamers to give away. So this has some of her Sune artwork in there. So obviously Priscilla Valor and Vellum is a friend of Neon Space. So we'll do King of the Pit here.
She's just getting over a busy weekend of Comic-Con, I think.
Oh shit! I gotta add the music. All right, so it's exclamation point dance. Exclamation point dance is the command. So make sure to do it quick because this registration closes automatically in 60 seconds. So exclamation point dance. And Sune or Valor and Vellum, if you win, we'll give you a different prize. For scientific experiments. Irresistible technical progress.
I see. I see why the registration closes on its own.
And then once it starts, you can do exclamation point bottle and throw bottle. That's more for fun. This This looks like the Chuck E. Cheese. Like you see back here, there's like a horse dancing and like a T-Rex playing drums.
It's the Country Jam Banderie or Country Bear Band Jamboree band. Damn, he's kicking those people around. Savage.
Oh shit.
Just go straight into the entertainer.
Okay, it didn't give me enough time to screenshot who won. Who is it? It's like Rick something.
So I have to rewind.
Here we go. I got it.
Ah, nice.
Man, Lou is just like a sniper on this snippet tool. That was very quick.
Yeah.
All right.
I think if you have the snippet tool like open and you have it like not with an image in there, but like ready to go by clicking new, if you then click print screen on your keyboard, it'll automatically bring up your snip tool. If you want a keyboard shortcut for it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then and if you have two monitors, holding control and clicking print screen will snap an image.
Oh, I
of
should have
the
print
monitor
screen and then snip at that. That's a good point.
Yeah. Print screen, baby.
All right.
Nice. Should we jump into looking at some of this crypto market right now? I'm antsy. It's definitely moving as we speak, which is nice.
All right, let me do one more giveaway. We'll do a Criticraft, and then we'll get into Max's Tech Talk stuff.
Let's do it. I'm fucking excited to talk tech. I could talk about those things for fucking hours, and it doesn't even matter if whoever's listening doesn't want to hear it. I'll just keep talking.
Does Paul just smile and nod while you just rant at him?
I'm pretty good about like, I can tell if somebody doesn't want to talk about that shit. And sometimes it's like, I'll ask Paul like, hey, I'm trying to like think through something. Can I just like talk at you for a second?
Yeah, that's true. Like I don't need you to give input. Just like help me say it out loud and think through it.
Especially some of these really complicated, like real deep cut shits where I'm like, I'm reading this thing. I understand the words. I just don't know. Like, do you mind if I like, and then usually he doesn't have to say anything back. I'll just like explain what I do understand about it to him. And then by explaining it, I'll understand it better.
Yeah. Like here's an excellent question. So like how deep is Paul's hatred for raisins?
I mean, it's just misinformed, you know, like he thinks they're not good, right? I mean, there's what's not to like. They're basically prunes of grapes.
You know, I don't explicitly dislike raisins, but I really do not have a strong opinion on it. I don't think they're a food that you really get excited about. It's just like, oh, they're here. Who actively buys raisins? I feel like you're always given raisins as like a snack at like a blood drive or something.
Oh, well, I bought raisins to put into oatmeal the other day.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
You don't like raisins? Well, don't eat them. More for me. I mean, right?
I guess so. All right. So
Paul's whole thing about raisins was just like I got a bunch of snacks, and then he was putting them away because I was on stream, and then he was just like looking through the stuff I bought, and he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is these raisins?" And it's like, those are for me. Like, if you don't like them, then they're not for you. Like, you don't have to like all the snacks.
That is true. So we'll give away this Kawaii Evolution pack.
I do like grapes in adequate mass.
That'll be our last giveaway, and we'll do Grubfish here. So just give me 2 seconds.
Nice. Yeah, I like grapes. I like seedless grapes better, but I don't mind any like all types of grapes. I feel like the seedless thing is so like it's hard to not find seedless grapes in most of America, as far as I can tell. But whenever I go travel to like other countries, if you're buying grapes, it's not like guaranteed that they're seedless.
All right, go ahead and exclamation point play. You don't need to put in your wallet. We have our separate form for that. So, but if you're new, you would have to fill out the form. But exclamation point play.
Grapes on pizza. I don't know about that.
Yeah, Rick,
I feel
I
like
don't recognize you. Let me see if you're in the on the form
that
already.
might be something Mark could chime in on. He has more of a authority on pizza toppings.
Oh, my raisins on pizza is a hard pass. It's a
No,
hard
I'm
pass.
sorry. It was grapes.
Oh, grapes. Oof, that's a tough one.
Is
I
it
feel
though?
like
How is it a tough one? I don't know. What are you gonna do with the grapes?
I just feel like there's a balance you got to have. Like there's grapes in salad quite frequently. You could have like a strong cheese and then like like you have apples or grapes in a salad. I've totally seen that before. Or like a very like tangy cheese, like a feta. Like I used to work
Okay,
at
but
a
if you're gonna
restaurant.
say because they're in salads that they can be a fucking pizza topping, raisins are in salads.
Okay,
Like
Rick's me on.
Waldorf salad
Never
has
mind.
raisins, right? Isn't that the name of it?
So
The
like
Waldorf
grapes,
salad.
I would lean towards no, but I'm not saying that someone couldn't pull it off in some way. That's my opinion on it.
Watermelon.
Personally, I would never put grapes on a pizza, but I'm sure there is a good pizza out there that has grapes on it.
It would be like a pizza, which is just
And then I
like
guess like you have
arugula.
sun-dried tomatoes to tomatoes, grapes to raisins. I mean, I guess I don't know. I just the flavor
Could
of
be the
raisins is so
sun
weird.
dried tomatoes on a pizza is great.
Yeah.
Like I really like the. It's like an more intense tomato flavor than a regular tomato.
Oh yeah, green chilies on pizza. That's great. Yeah, I
Green
guess
chilies, okay.
pineapple. Yeah, pineapple you have on pizza. There is fruits on pizza, so I feel like
Pineapple's
maybe you
allowed,
could
yeah.
do like a Greek style or something like that. You could do like a feta, a cucumber, and maybe like some grapes or something like that. I feel like that's possible. Raisins,
Whoa, whoa! You're throwing cucumbers in the mix now? Like, are you putting them on after the pizza comes out the oven, or are you putting them on
I
and then
would put
putting the
them on
cucumbers in the
after it
oven?
bakes because it's better
Okay,
cold.
okay.
Yeah, because
Same
like
with the grapes, I imagine.
yeah, I would say so. Yes, yes. But
Okay.
honestly, I don't. That's an experiment I don't want to do, but I'm not completely ruling it out.
Hmm.
That is the power of pizza. That you can pretty much make most things work if you try hard enough.
I'm
Although
trying to fucking remember. There was a crossover like fusion place I ate at where I got a burrito that had grapes in it, but I'm trying to remember what the other ingredients were. All I remember is the grapes now. So, like, what the fuck did they pair with the grapes with? Something. It was definitely not just grapes wrapped in a tortilla. So, there's more to it.
well, I mean,
But
lasagna pizza is basically just pizza. It's
what?
just like a cheese pizza in a different form. I
What
don't know. Maybe
lasagna
like
pizza?
the burnt edges or something. I guess if you could somehow finagle that. I had a friend who was like, well, like Dan, and he's part Chinese, and he's like, yeah, do you think you could do a Chinese pizza? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, there's literally like no cheese in any like Asian cuisine, really. Like, so I mean, I guess there's
That's
like
true.
cream
Yeah.
cheese and like crab rangoon and stuff like that, but like,
In
my,
California rolls.
I just don't think that like they clash so hard in just what's naturally like Chinese or just generally like Asian style cuisines. I've seen there's a lot of Japanese pizza places that go to Italy and train in a Neapolitan style and come back and do like
Oh,
Japanese style pizzas, and those include cheese, but uh Chinese specifically is very I don't know how to do it. I mean, maybe you could do like some tofu, like some soft tofu to kind of mimic some of the texture
is cheese
of
just not a
cheese.
thing they do in the like in Asian cultures?
There's just not a lot of cheese in that style of cuisine, like at all. That's why most people like, or at least I guess I'll say this with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure there's a higher rate of lactose intolerant in people from Asia because they just are not exposed to dairy at
Oh,
all, and their parents were exposed to dairy. So there's a lineage there.
damn!
So
Cheese is like one of my favorite toppings or ingredients. But
yeah, it's just not prominent. I don't know, but like I said, there's like a lot of cream cheese in like in certain sushis and like crab rangoon and like other like kind of stuffed
yeah,
kind of dumpling styles and things like that, but very minimal. So
I'm
and
trying to
cream
think
cheese on
of.
a pizza seems very weird. Um, so I was thinking maybe you could mimic the feel of it, like you could mimic soft tofu as a texture element, but not really need cheese and still have traditional Chinese ingredients that would work as a pizza. That was my theory.
Okay, what about cream cheese? You could do cream cheese on a pizza that's like cream cheese with like smoked salmon and like capers and arugula.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Right.
I can see that.
I would
Yeah,
eat that. That sounds pretty good.
yeah. Well, yeah. Eric makes a good point. Being able to lactose tolerance is a gene mutation, where lactose intolerance is the norm. That is a very good point.
I guess that makes sense. It is pretty weird to drink milk from other animals. Like,
Yeah.
just evolutionarily speaking, that is a little strange.
Yeah, so
But
yeah, I wonder. Yeah, maybe you could mimic a crab rangoon with like a cream cheese base and some crab and maybe some nice like chili oil or something like that, red
yeah,
red
I guess
chili oil or
the
some sort of
creamy
bean
stuff.
paste, maybe like a hot bean paste. You could get some spice in there to balance it out.
Yeah, a lot of the creamy stuff I can think of right now for like Asian dishes is like rooted in like coconut milk, not like or like coconut ingredient like
And there's like
curries
I
or
want to
like
say there's like coconut, there's like vegan style cheeses that are based in coconut, which is kind of fascinating to me. So maybe you could play into that.
I have
Personally, as
had
someone
yeah.
who likes cheese, I find the coconut based cheeses deplorable. But like
Oh yeah.
if it fits in the context of like a coconut based dish, because it tastes
Yeah.
like coconut.
I advocate for them to like I don't hate that they exist. I just wish they wouldn't call it cheese.
Yes.
Like I almost ate that shit, man. you know?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Uh, yeah. That's
Wait, so uh, we need to get a PO box like Sully so we can send you stuff to try on stream, except Lewis because his stomach's effed up. Yeah,
that's true.
so Sully does that. He lets people like send him like hot sauces or something. Is that the idea?
I would definitely try pretty much anything. I'm not that picky. I also
Yeah, that
like
would be kind of
pretty much
funny
everything.
actually. I'm not opposed to it, or like if you want to send us stuff and we can showcase it on stream. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to talk about that. I think that'd be pretty fun actually. We're
Yeah.
trying to figure out better ways to incorporate channel points. Like Sasha from Wombat does an
Oh,
excellent job on it because his stream's just so engaging because he has all these crazy channel points, and people in Neon Space have been accumulating channel points to say smoke weed every day, but they the amount of points you spend on the sound bites versus how much you accumulate it, you're inflating that number. So I'm sure everyone has a bunch of channel points to spend. So maybe we can have some big thing that we do. If everyone pulls it together for 1,000,000 points, we do something ridiculous. I don't know.
that's not bad. Yeah. I'd also
So don't send us anthrax or anything or like pipe bombs. We'd appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't even know where you'd get that kind of like. I feel like it's too. Have you ever gotten sent like a glitter bomb in the mail
That's a
or
thing.
anything? Oh yeah, Paul has gotten that like twice, and we don't know who the fuck is doing it.
Really? Do you think it's
And
one of his friends or is it some rando?
I don't know. It doesn't have like a return address or something. It doesn't like no one's claimed anything for it. Like no one's ever like come forward
Oh
and been
yeah,
like,
there's no
oh, dude.
return address, and
And
so
we
you
know,
can't ask
yeah,
the post office like.
no, they don't know. They're just like, oh yeah, like that's not a thing. You can't like reverse look up unless that information is right on the package. It's like, oh,
Weird.
unless I mean, if you were like the police, they could probably look it up into their records, but it's not available to me. But yeah, both times we like saw it and we're like, "Are you expecting a package?" No, and we're like, "This looks sus, man. Like, let's not fuck with this." And we didn't like fall for it, and we didn't get bombed. Like both times we like diffused the bomb, and we're like, "Somebody's trying to prank us, but it's not working."
So
So
you open it and it just like pops.
if you do just open it like a package, yeah, it like it's like spring loaded, and then it like pushes a platform up that spins as it moves up, and it just shoots glitter in every direction. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty light. It was like maybe the size of like half a wine bottle or something, you know.
Huh. I mean, I feel like that's a lighthearted prank. Although if
It
you don't
was
know who's
lighthearted,
doing
yeah. But the weird thing is like nobody like we didn't like we ask around in the friend groups like, hey,
yeah,
is
I feel
anyone
like
like
you send the
nobody
glitter
took
bomb so you
credit
can
for it.
talk about it later, right? You don't like
Yeah,
if it's just some person that does it and doesn't actually like want to take credit, that seems very strange.
yeah. It was definitely What's a much more lighthearted like prank is like those cards that when you open them, they have like an origami piece of like a bug or something inside that like pops out and like flutters for a few seconds and
Oh, that's
looks
kind of
pretty
cool.
real. Have you seen that? Those are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, my mom does that a lot in her retirement. She makes her own greeting cards. So she has
Oh,
like all of these crazy tools, and so she can do these like 3D pop out and like
oh,
it
that's
won't like
cool.
actually move and do flutters, but she has like very intricate ones that they're like textured on the top, so there'll be multiple layers that cut out and create like a 3D look that's layered, cut out piece of
Damn,
paper, and then you open it up, and then there's like kind of shapes or whatever is topical that pops out. So it's
that's
kind of
dope.
cool. So maybe that's the next level of her evolution of greeting cards, is that she can make like animated cards.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
All
Does she
right.
ever
Well,
consider
real quick,
selling
I'm
them
gonna
as
do.
NFTs?
I don't know if she wants to go into NFTs. I mean, my mom worked in tech, so she's not like super intimidated by the blockchain stuff because she worked in tech for a long time. But uh, I don't know if that's quite her bag.
Yeah,
But she does follow us. I don't think she's gonna watch the stream, or at least I hope not, because we talk about doing drugs on here sometimes. But
drugs,
uh,
smoking weed, maybe.
but yeah, she follows sometimes. She went on the website and she was like, Mark, maybe you guys shouldn't have that open close sign. That was the one thing she gave me feedback on. She's like, that's a little weird, don't you think? And I was
I
like,
love it.
well, I'll take that feedback.
Yeah, it's definitely like suggestive, but that is the point. I
All
really
right.
like that
So
one. That's one of my
anyway, we're
favorites,
doing doom
actually.
rollers. So this is this is interactive. So exclamation point A, B, C, or D will take you to a different quadrant, and you want to be in a quadrant with the least amount of other grubs. So you're trying to move around and avoid the rolling. So
Ooh, I love seeing the like custom tails too. Like the custom trails in this is so dope. See a couple purple ones.
So
Some
yeah, you need to
blue
do
ones.
exclamation point A, B, C, or D in the chat, and that'll move your grub.
Oh, he's got a green one too. I'm waiting for the rainbow. If there's gonna be a rainbow trail, I'm all about it. Let's see. I feel like A is a dangerous quadrant right now.
Sorry, Jeff. Well, if we have a PO box, Jeff will just send us a notice to serve. He'll just sue us just for the lulls. Ooh, Buzz King.
Oh, nice. Oh, and he would have bailed out last second too.
Ooh, KY, barely.
Damn, yeah, dude. By the seed of your trail, the skin of the blue bot.
All right, it looks like
Damn.
D has the most, but you don't know if it's gonna go vertical or horizontal. That's the deal.
Everyone's bailing out on B.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be left side vertical. That's my call.
Oh
never
no, go
mind.
down to D, go down to D. Anybody who's in B.
Tune, you're
Tune, you're choosing to just face it head on, huh?
great.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make it. Damn. Let's see, Gikariki's still in.
Yeah, so you can buy colored trails. Those are NFTs, so there is NFT integration in this as well. So if you're new to Grubfish, these like kind of down here, these colored trails.
Yeah, Mona Suerte has a purple trail.
Magic legs.
You guys, someone's got to move, or it's gonna go C to D and just smush all of y'all.
Yeah, but I guess Mono Suerte, if it comes from the left side, they'll just win that way.
I guess
but if
that's
it comes
true.
from the right, they'll be first to go.
It could also go B to D because there's 3 on that side and only 2 on the other.
There it is.
Oh shit! There it is. Oh, get out of there. Oh, Mona Suerte, too late.
Woof.
Let's see who's gonna win it. It's Gikariki and
Gikariki's either going AFK or going for a less is more approach. Either way, it's working.
I'm trying to read this name. Diantisap.
Diane Diantisop.
I'm not sure how to say that. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna root for Gikariki.
Oh man.
Uh, let's see who's
All right.
gonna
Well,
be.
yeah. At this point, let Jesus take the wheel here.
Oh,
Oh, there
Gikariki,
it is.
no.
All right.
Well, the name I couldn't say correctly won.
Oop, whoops. All right. Well done. Well done. You won the Kawaii pack. I think I recognize your username there, but yeah, just for the disclaimer and lose absence, we don't send to multi-accounters. We don't send to accounts that send wax to one another without verifying that that is your wallet and you're not multi-accounting, or people that buy nothing and only sell. So we do vet the wallets. We are pretty reasonable about trying to find these things. We're just trying to make the giveaways actually go to real people and not just leech value out of the space. Rixta, I see that your name on there. I checked our prize wallet form and you're on it. So we do have your wallet address. So we'll send them after the stream. We are human people with things to do. So uh, I will do this manually after the stream and probably after I eat lunch. So probably in the next hour or so. But we will send it and you can check your wallet. But this will be our pivot into Max's Tech Talk. So and the continuation of the 100 wax investment experiment. So Max, take it away.
Yeah, baby. Here, let me share my screen. There it is. Let's start as usual by looking at the crypto market with Bitcoin and Ethereum here. All right, this is a fucking weird week. Like we said last Friday, we were seeing this, and I was kind of expecting the market to drop, possibly on the weekend, but it held pretty good over the weekend and started its drop yesterday, and really is accelerating today. We're looking at the daily chart for Ethereum right now, which is kind of an exaggerated version of the chart for Bitcoin, but that's the one we've been watching closest. So I always like to follow the Ethereum charts. You can kind of see we have our long-term trend line here. The blue, I'm going to try zooming out here so we can get a clearer picture of that blue line. There we go. The blue line, which starts at the top of the bear trend and has been kind of like the average price action. You can see it's still holding as a very strong resistance level here. So it's basically like we've pumped up and then being rejected now at that trend line to continue the trend downward. Kind of like what we were expecting to see to begin with. But again, let's also keep the other factors in mind here. So let me zoom in and out again to get a little closer for the last few months here. What I was looking for here is kind of this pattern to play out and then keep pumping down. And what we have here is the 1, 2, 3, and the next part would be, a retest all the way down to the old resistance level, small bounce within a market downturn. So continuing to go down further. That would be over the next like month or so, not necessarily week. For now, what we're trying to see to confirm that that's in play is for this daily chart to continue to fall and start closing below the middle B bands line again, because the middle B band line, which is this orange line here, which we can track by adding indicators and just typing BB, brings up the Bollinger Bands. So that's the middle line there is kind of always a decent indication for support or resistance. If we're closing above that line needs to become support where the price bounces for us to continue to be confidently in a like uptrend and a bull trend. And if we're closing below the line and then we come out and approach it, we want to see that line turn into resistance and reject the movement upwards to keep it moving down and confirm that we're in a bear trend. So we're still like above that line on the daily, but let's take a look now a little bit closer here. And I just like to go for the 1 hour. Zoom out just a little bit here and then redraw my graph. Here we go. Let me zoom out one more time. Okay, this is the top of that peak that we were looking at on the daily. So if I zoom out even further, you can see here's like the bounce, bounce, and then the high jump to where we are now. The top of this peak, what I was looking for on Friday and trying to like hope for it to play out, was this pattern where we're at the coming up and then getting a 1, 2, third peak, with the third peak being the highest of the three, turning into a market downsell. And what we ended up getting, it's a lot more sloppy than the textbook example, but it is kind of a 1, 2, 3, and the third time you can see very slightly you had the wick of this guy going up. This isn't very clear signal, but like if you want to see that pattern, I can kind of see it. And then it did kind of play out like it should, where it now is being followed by that sell-off. So we are now in phase E of the Wyckoff distribution event there. And that phase E should then play into the basically top of this market here as it then continues to sell off of the broader daily pattern, which we're seeing, or which I'm looking for, I should say, because we can see a lot of different patterns in these numbers, and shouldn't necessarily put too much weight into any of this, in my opinion. But this is kind of the 1, 2, 3 moving down thing. This definitely pumped up a lot harder than I wanted it to, and like I said last week, I was mitigating my short positions a little bit. I've since re-entered short on Ethereum at like 1550 or something. I shorted again just because it was starting to play out kind of like with the downturn, and here we are selling off. But again, let's take a look at what's happening with the unbalanced volume. We did make higher lows and higher highs on Coinbase. So let's take a look at if we did that also on other Ethereum markets. So let's check maybe Binance is another giant Ethereum market. So check that one. And here we're not necessarily making higher lows as immediately. Like this one was on Coinbase at higher low. This is a lower low on Binance. But we are kind of trending up a little bit here. So I do want to see the on balance volume start to make a lower low again, which would further confirm, the second half of the sell-off will continue down below this price, like where it has been bouncing in the past. So if this on balance volume stays high as we do start to approach the same price range right here where we've been bouncing historically, then I would expect a more aggressive bounce. If we can see the on balance volume falling more aggressively, like making lower lows by the time we reach this area, I could see the sell-off intensifying downward in the more immediate future. So kind of like using all these indicators at the same time to get an idea. So right now the idea is, I think this week we are going to continue to see crypto market sell-off, and a part of that is also, like on Friday we were saying, and for a while, the SPY is the legacy stock market kind of like index to follow to see the general health of the stock market. And it is also doing this type of, so we're still in like a super trend short on the daily. It's also doing a similar, it's basically leading the way here. So based on what these chart patterns are looking like and the on balance volume for the SPY, definitely not making higher lows. Like it did maybe start with a higher high here, but we haven't seen a higher low at all yet. Like this is still very bearish in my opinion, and I think the bearishness of the SPY translates to dragging down the crypto market assets as well. So while there is a bit of a disconnect most of the time, I think they're going to trend in the same direction. So and then let's quickly take a look at WaxP as well while we're here. WaxP, this is the daily chart. I'm going to toggle between two now that I zoomed in, get a little bit better of a drawing. I drew out this support line or this trend line a while ago as well. It's a little less acting like resistance than that on this current pump here, where you can see we're now above the trend line, but we are also kind of right back down to where we keep bouncing, which has been this resistance level, at least for the last 3 weeks or so. So we're getting kind of right to that level, but at least on KuCoin, we're at a price range of right here where you see the red line coming from that graph. which is the same as the price was here, while here the on balance volume is much lower. So this is looking like the sell-off could, find support and start bouncing here again. But this picture is also way more just looking at a very small aspect of the market, because KuCoin is just a very small marketplace in the grand scheme of Wax. So if we look also on other trading platforms, like again, Binance does a lot more volume than KuCoin. And here we're seeing a similar thing actually, where the price is kind of falling, but when it was at the same range, the on balance volume is still staying kind of higher than it was before. This is, this can mean positives for the price. Like I said, like it can indicate that there is support at this price level, and we could see the sell-off not intensify too crazily down and maybe find some support and bounce again. But like I said, all of this stuff I think tends to get dragged down together, and the trend to me looks like we're going to see this pump from the last 2 weeks or so at least retrace, if not all the way, then at the very least to the last resistance level where we used to have resistance, which we may flip into support. So now we're looking for this level here at, what is that, like 1300? Not quite. 1250-ish, let's say. So we're looking for support at 1250. If this holds, then we could see maybe the bounce and we start ranging again in here, and we'll have to start looking for a different pattern to track. But for right now, I think we can still see maybe the Wyckoff redistribution playing out, which looks like this. And in this pattern, I would say we'd be around here, maybe even still up here somewhere. So it's a long way down if we are seeing that playing out. And if we stop seeing that playing out, we can reassess and adjust our strategy. So based on that market picture, let's look at what we have been investing our 100 wax into. So I jump over here. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe I have to do this in a different browser because for some reason this browser doesn't let me. Here. Do it from here.
Real quick, I'm going to run the Stream Raiders.
I'll launch
you pivot.
Yeah, let me know if there's any questions or anything too about anything we could talk about. Anything. Here it is.
Are you switching into the investment thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like. Well, here's a question. Prince Paradox asks, "Do you think we are seeing a dead cat bounce?" Or
yeah, that's basically like a way that it gets described. It's like a pump within a bear market trend. That's exactly what I think we're seeing. It's I think it's important to remember that bear markets tend to have more pumps than bull markets. It's just that the trend tends to correct much quicker and deplete the value that you see gained from those pumps. Let me switch back to my screen.
Yeah, that is an interest. That gives me some sanity check, though. Like, I guess if you're going to see more retest pumps and more kind of up and down volatility in a bear market versus bull market, that's an interesting
a lot
thing
more
to keep in mind for me, so I don't emotionally react to the market movements as much, knowing what I'm seeing.
Look at this. Just look at this uptrend here, where we're moving up in a bear trend here, and look at how often we're correcting down and how steeply that correction is. Like, it's pretty much a straight climb up. And then now look at when we come back down. Like, here we hit the top, and then it was, a double top, this is a very standard like technical analysis indication for the end of a bull market, a double top. So here I would say the bear trend starts, which is also, where we started our bear trend lines here. But then you can see, look, on the way down, it is correcting like ridiculously more aggressively than on the way up. And it will happen like a slower bleed down longer term with much harder corrections. So you see a lot of this kind of dead cat bounces. And again, when we look at, since we've been tracking this from the start, it really, really helped my short sentiment, especially when some of those short sell positions start to, get expensive and potentially losing me money. It really helps that sentiment to see this trend line, which starts here and tracks kind of the average price. And then that trend line really being a place where that pump stopped having its momentum and being like, oh yeah, this is the actual trend we're happening. This extra shit that's happening outside here or above here is like the whale game of people pushing and pulling and trying to like play these markets. But ultimately, we want this blue line to stay intact.
What's
And
the
again,
tool that you use for the blue line? Is that just the super trend line, or what's that called?
for the blue one, I just drew that with my that's like here you can
Oh, that's just you kind of just drawing
yeah,
it
that's
through
just like
like the
quick
zoomed out.
quick
Okay,
yeah,
I see.
yeah, like that. So and then the way I drew that was, if we zoom out here, I pretty much started at the top. Once we drew it, like I think we drew it around here when the market price was around here, so it was like May, June-ish, maybe like around here. So we started drawing it here. So what we did was we started at the top, and then we drew a line that kind of like hits as much of these prices as it can. So trying to find the average. So visually, you want this line to go through as many bars as you possibly can, and then because we did it around here, we had this correction back, and then we took the second line. Leave me alone. Why disconnecting? Stop that. And then we took the second line and we took that from the very peaks and we made it go along just the peaks, right? The top of these peaks, and then drew it around at that trajectory. And this is our Gandalf line, because this is the line that's shown won't be crossed by a pump that deviates from the average line here. So now we're still
So that's
below
your
the
range.
average line,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, so this, I would still say between this line and this line, you're still potentially in a bear market. Like you could still pump all, and that this line's high. This is like $2,700 per Ethereum right now. Like you could still like double the price of Ethereum and be in this bear market, which is, again, to keep in mind, the bear markets are very volatile, and you can experience more aggressive and more often pumps than you can in a bull market. Because in the bull market, it's not necessarily just a pump; it's literally just climbing. Like here, you can see, look at these, and then when they dump, you find that support again and flatline, and then the climb kind of continues. Here, you're getting quite a bit of a pump, but then that doesn't get corrected the way it does when we see these dumps here. Huge dump, huge recorrection on that. Huge pump, immediately dumped all the way back down, like, and be below where it started. So you get more aggressive kind of like pumps with more aggressive dumps as well. Giant dumps. But yeah. So what we've been doing though is using DeFi Box with our 100 wax, and we've been participating in the CMW liquidity mining. So let me jump over to this tab where I'm actually logged into our wallet. It looks like right now, and then we've been collecting the CMW, selling it for wax, and turning it into wax and USDT liquidity. And at this point, we have 64 wax. So we started with 100. We've made about 64% of our wax back into realized revenue from this position. And we're left with close to 90, 89 wax left from the 104 we started with contributing when we started grinding this. So first things first, let's see how much we've mined since this will have been since Friday. So I scroll down to the bottom. We got 3 CMW, so I'll claim that and turn that into wax, because our goal is still to recover 100% of our principal, which is 100 wax, 104 wax maybe. And again, looking at the price action, we wanted to hedge against just wax. If wax falls, we can actually earn more wax by having it split between wax and USD. If wax climbs, we'll lose some of our wax, but into cash or cash equivalent assets. So the both sides of that equation, I would say I'm okay with in this type of a market. especially considering that the longer term trajectory is down. And so having cash now might equal having more wax at the bottom. So we claim that. Come over to swap and let's see how much wax we get for that. 3 CMW, that's going to be like 8.6 wax. Pretty good. That's, again, almost like 8% of what we started with. And this is, again, since Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's like 4 days. Doing pretty well with this type of yield. Okay, so we've got our 9 wax now in our wallet. And now we can see our total amount is worth 162. So we've made 62% in about a month on our wax, which is phenomenal. You should not expect performance that good, but we got that by exposing ourselves to pretty high risk investments, which is the CMW token distribution. The only reason we were comfortable with that is because we looked over the technical like white paper and then basically discovered the opportunity for this yield to be sustainable because of the way that the CMW issuing supply was initially designed to be issued through the NFTs that were sold at drop, but because the drop did poorly, the NFTs were burned, and the issued supply that was going to go to NFT holders is now no longer going to be issued at all. And the amount of tokens that were allocated to liquidity mining are still being allocated to the same, now much smaller pool of CMW tokens. So given that opportunity, we decided to act on this and have been participating for about 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, it seems we've been able to make about 64 plus 8, so 7 or 9 here now. So 73% of our principal back already. And I think we did the math at the front end of this. We were looking at recovering 100% within a month. And because we know that the interest rate or the liquidity mining yield rates here will decrease as the value of the token either decreases or the liquidity of the pool increases, we should either one of those things will cause this APY to decrease, and we expect that to happen. So we doubled the trajectory from when we first did the math, like the spot math based on the equation that said it would be a month. So we're still very, very much on track for a 2-month ROI with our 100 wax here. So personally, I want to continue to go into the wax USDT pool, unless there's another opportunity we could take a look at for the week.
Well, here's a good transition. I remember last time Mountain Dewey was mentioning you look at the taco swap white paper. Did you take a look at that? Does that play into your moves here?
I have not seen that. Actually, I need to read that still. Let me see. I wonder if I can pull that up right here and look into that, because the taco swap, I think, is another decentralized exchange, or at least another exchange protocol.
Yeah,
and
it
exchange
seems like there's a
protocols,
lot of room for exchange protocols on here. I
yeah.
can put in the private chat for you, Max.
Oh, nice. Yeah, exchange protocols tend to pay for liquidity. Like they pay to incentivize liquidity. Oh, here we go. Damn, this looks dope. Why is it ETH though? DAI. Oh shit! Can you do like cross chain swapping here? I need to read this white paper. So let's see. The white paper. All right. This is a white paper to provide general information. Subject to change. Okay. It's not a big fan of white papers that are subject to change, but okay. Not guaranteed accuracy of the statements. Yeah. Okay. So it's like a disclaimer at the front end. Let's see. Let's find out here. Taco. I guess let me read some of these disclaimers too, so I can understand. Let's see. There we go.
All right, yeah, that's my bad. I'm gonna start a new stream readers here as well
Yeah.
for anyone that was following along.
All right, I'm gonna get to the part about the swap here. Taco Swap DEX. Okay, DX is a peer-to-peer swap. Yep. Taco Swap's an automated liquidity protocol provided by a custom producer formula and implemented in a system of upgradable smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. Ah, it eliminates the need for trusted intermediaries, prioritizing decentralization, censorship resistance, and security. Hi, Mars. Each taco swap smart contract or pair manages a liquidity pool made up of the reserve of ERC20 tokens. Okay, so this is all on Ethereum. Okay, that I didn't know. Oh, and look at this. They even have the price curve. This is the curve I'm talking about when I was saying when you're trading in an automated market making pool, this spot here is your price, the spot price. As a bunch of shit gets bought from one side of the token Y, for example, the price of token Y increases and you pay a higher price in token X along this curve. And that's why the curve protocol has the name curve protocol, because you can trade multiple tokens. It's not just XY. You could have like a Z and a whatever token, and you're not limited to trading along the price curve because of the math behind that one. Really fucking fascinating. Let's see. Taco Swap aims to become a regulatory friendly environment by utilizing CRD network proof of KYC protocol. Oh, in
Wait, I
short, it
think
would.
this is a different taco. Honestly, hold on. I
I'm
found
like,
the wrong taco. This is a wax native one. So this is an Ethereum based
okay.
one. The taco we're thinking about, I posted that here just
I was
now.
gonna say, I'm surprised that that's on Wax or that that's on Ethereum. Okay, let me read this other
Yeah.
one. That's also
Okay, good
not like
catch. Good catch. My bad. I just googled real quick.
okay. Here we go. Taco Swap. Let's see. This looks way more
This looks like
like a
the
Wax
taco we're
product.
familiar with.
Yeah, this looks like what I'm familiar with. Okay. Trade your Wax token, lowest fee, decentralized, transparent. Okay, let's see. Taco Swap is built on open source software. All our smart contracts are public. Oh, I like that. And completely transparency. I like this. That's a big deal. Let's see. Taco and Wax tokens through the incentivized liquidity pool. Ah, so they do. So, yeah, let's take a look if we can find a nice pool to participate in here with our Wax wallet.
These
All liquidity
acronyms are
pool.
pretty funny. Single asset liquidity staked alone, salsa rewards.
Yeah.
Multi-earning assets liquidity, meal rewards, man.
Yeah.
I do like the commitment to the brand.
So salsa rewards pools would be like if you're staking just taco tokens and then you get a reward for it. Whereas meal would be like you're doing what we're doing on DeFi Box. You're creating a liquidity pair and then you're earning interest for that. So this would probably require an additional staking rather than it just dropping the rewards directly to your claim balance. But let's find out. So get taco tokens, the swap. Let's see. Every user can trade their tokens powered by a liquidity pool inside the taco swap. Great. For price verifications, we rely on existing Uniswap algorithms. Yeah, every fucking swap does. This is inscribed in the open source smart contract provided from the EOS block producer and used on the taco swap. Users can create new liquidity pools by providing token pairs. Liquidity providers receive a share of the fee when other users trade. So it's a Uniswap clone like DeFi Box or even the swap protocol on Alcor. It's all based in the Uniswap initial. So it's very similar to what we're already familiar with. Let's see how to swap. I feel like we know how to do that. Let's go to the advanced stuff.
Yeah, is there a deeper white paper? This one? Oh, there we go. I see. Trying to figure out where to find more information on the liquidity pools and stuff.
Here's the liquidity pools. Providing liquidity for a token pair and earn a share of the token fees for each trade. Yes. So it's okay, let's see. Pool share. Okay, yeah, this is very much like what we know on Alcor too, or on DeFi Box. But let's see what their Hey, why won't you let me go back? Weird. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have fucking clicked out of it. I should have. I'm just gonna jump straight and learn by doing here.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the taco swap and just try this out with.
I see. Only VIPs have access to add to LPs currently before they open it to everyone. So this isn't publicly available. Is that the idea? At least it's, or at least at this time.
I see. Well, let's see what is available. How far we can get into this. We're jumping in with our wallet here. And it's already in. Great. So Taco and Shing are available. Looks like Wax. Oni CMX is on here as well. And Wax. So let's do Wax. And A Ether. Let's see. Oh no, A Ether and Wax don't seem to have a pool. Okay, looks like it's A Ether and Boost. Interesting. So does that mean Boost and Wax don't have a pool? Yeah, okay, they don't. Otherwise, there would be a routing. So let's try Boost. Oh, okay. Let me go say goodbye to Paul really quick. He's about to step out, and then I'll be right back.
Bye, Paul.
He's running out the door. I'm gonna say bye.
Yeah, so it looks like so if we're talking liquidity pools, so Wax TLM. So are these set by the liquidity pool owners? Is what I'm trying to understand. If like the project owner has to do this, it seems like almost like let's see, almost like a combination of like Wax DAO and
All right, I'm in.
and plug back in.
I'm in.
In like a DeFi box. Let's see. Are liquidity pools mainly a means to allow for swapping tokens before a self-sustaining market is established? If that's correct, is there a point when an LP is counterproductive or detrimental? Interesting. Max, I'll take it away.
Okay, hold on. What was that question? Say that one more time.
Oh, so are liquidity pools mainly a means to allow for swapping tokens before a self-sustaining market is established? If that's correct, is there a point when an LP is counterproductive or detrimental? I mean, effectively, the whole point of like crowdsourcing liquidity in that way is to create a decentralized market. So there's no single point of failure or single point of ownership of liquidity. It's a group. It's a way to provide a way of swapping tokens, like you said, but in a way where the liquidity is there's a more stakeholders rather than just one, and in that way it could create less or more strength in security in the sense that no single person could rug pull the amount of liquidity depth. Although that's a asterisk statement because there is kind of people who could just have so much money that they could command most of a pool. But Max, correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, so that's right. So you want to have like the point of liquidity pools in general is to facilitate trading. The more depth there is in liquidity, the more value can be traded. Like right now, I can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 2 billion A Ether, and I could still get 10,000 wax for that here. It's having a 3.2% price impact, but this price that I'm getting quoted for an instant swap is because of the available liquidity depth. That can be demonstrated pretty straightforwardly here if I just do the exact same swap on Alcor, where I'll have, let's see, A Ether. And if I do 2 billion here, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm only getting 7,700 wax, where I'm getting 10,000 wax for the exact same amount of A Ether over at DeFi Box. So the reason for that has to do with the available depth of liquidity, and then that price curve, which we saw in the wrong white paper earlier. So basically, the point of liquidity pools is to facilitate like economic ability, and the reason why you'd want a liquidity pool that's crowdsourced versus not centralized liquidity is that way the owner or creator of the token doesn't have to put up the entire counterpart. So in this pool, for example, if we look at the market and click here, you can see the liquidity depth, or I guess it'll tell you out here already. The liquidity depth here is 600,000 wax bilateral, it says here. So that means 300,000 of this wax is actual wax. And in order for this pool to have this liquidity depth, someone has to put up that wax. If that someone is not the creator of the Ether token, it has to come from some place. So crowdsourcing it not only creates a liquidity depth, but a robust liquidity depth in theory, where it's not a single entity or a single mind that can move or reduce the liquidity, because even if the creator were to pull their share of the liquidity from this pool, the remaining participants supply so much liquidity, like which we can see here. If we look at the pool itself, there's 113. It's not that many fucking people for 600,000 wax, honestly. But there's 113 people who are supplying that liquidity, and you can see the team is supplying almost all of it. So this makes it a very centralized thing, but it's functional.
But yeah, the means of the swap gives the ability for it to decentralize. Just because it's on a decentralized exchange doesn't mean it has all the merits of decentralization. In this case, like, it is on a decentralized platform, and that's great. But when 98% of the liquidity is owned by our planet, well, then that still runs the same risk. So trying to see how many participants are in the pool, how many unique wallets are in the pool, and how distributed is the liquidity across multiple participants is how you can measure the amount of risk that you're taking for someone to potentially pull the rug out, and then you would have no exit liquidity, or you would, but at a very shitty price, and then there would be all this slippage and stuff like that. If that
basically
makes
sense. If this wallet were to pull its liquidity, there would only be like 2% left of this value inside this pool, meaning that all the Ether that people want to sell or buy or something would have to come from 2% of 600,000. So like, what is that, like the 10,000 wax or something? So if there's only 10,000 wax, so 5,000 wax total on the wax side of that equation, no matter how much Ether you supply, you would never be able to get more than 5,000 wax for it. So it would destroy the ability of the price staying stable. The thing is about this pool, though, is this doesn't paint the full picture, because you'd have to understand what this wallet is, and what this wallet is a smart contract wallet from Ether, like from the Weekend team, that is comprised of deposits from many users' wallets, because the way that their meta farming works on.
So I think the takeaway is, like, not all pools are created equal. So I mean, we don't have to go into our planet stuff too much, but
here's the thing, because if you take Ether wax on DeFi box, you'd have to stake it here, and by staking it here, it goes into that wallet.
Connects to that wallet. Okay.
So that's why this wallet has so much liquidity, and that doesn't mean that this is one person. This is everybody who has staked their stuff through meta farming. And so you do need to understand, like, when you see something like this, it doesn't immediately mean that there's foul play at hand here. Like, this is it's understandable if you can, like, figure out where or what the reason for that kind of stuff is. And then you can see, like, maybe this will have the same, because they have the same meta farming, but then like CMW, for example, won't. They don't have such a mechanic within their ecosystem. So this is more people supplying liquidity, or it looks like more people than Ether, but it definitely is not.
Yeah. So to answer this question, yes, anyone can start a liquidity pool by pairing two tokens. So that's why you can see a liquidity pair, but you kind of need to, like, look at certain indicators. Like, anyone can start it, which is great, because in theory, like, centralized exchanges only list a certain amount of tokens. So if you're trying to move one token like Ether into something else, how are you going to do that if there's no bridge into a token that is listed on exchange? And it's not like all of these game tokens on Wax are going to be on Coinbase. It's never going to happen. And that costs money, and you have to have a certain level of there's all these requirements, right, to be on these exchanges, and typically they pay for them as well. So like it's not realistic. So these dexes kind of create a pathway to get from one token to another, and by doing so, if there's enough people that are interested in this token, they can create a liquidity pool, and you don't have to be a project owner or the owner of the token smart contract or anything like that. But with that said, anyone can make one. You could see this liquidity pool that has like $10 in it, and you're trying to move $100, and it's never going to work. So you kind of have to see, okay, how deep is this pool? How many people are participating? And is this a legitimate way to move this token into another one if that's what you're choosing to do? But the key of these dexes is that it will route where you want to go. So I think that's what Max is doing. Like if you wanted to go from Neon token, our token, into something else, like into Aether, we have a Neon Wax liquidity pool. So there is a depth to go from Neon to Wax, but there is not a Neon Aether liquidity pool. So then when you're trying to route the path, it'll take you to where the liquidity lies. So it'll go Neon into Wax, then sell Wax into Aether. And these decentralized exchanges are designed in smart contracts to create that pathway to go from one token to another without direct liquidity pairing the two.
Yeah, and this is what's lacking or absent from Alcor. Alcor has Aether Wax, but I can't do Aether Neon. It won't even show up because there is no direct pool for this. Whereas on Box, there's no direct pool for this either, but the router will automatically route here the swap path Neon Wax Aether. And so this is going to be the same thing that we'll see on Taco Swap, where let's say we could do Shing. Let's do Oni into.
So the interesting part about having multiple decentralized exchanges on a given chain is that it creates a need for these exchanges to incentivize liquidity. So when we talk about liquidity pooling, when we talk about the CMW rewards, that's incentivized liquidity pooling, that's yield farming, that's a lot of terms that capture that. But the whole idea is that Taco Swap versus DeFi Box versus Alcor are trying to court liquidity so that they have more depth, more consistent pricing, and it's more advantageous for people to use because there is a like point. So like the liquidity source fee, 0.11%. So like there is a fee on every single trade that one goes to the exchange, but also goes to the liquidity pool providers. And so in that way, incentivizing liquidity to bring more people there by giving additional rewards in addition to that per trade source fee is what takes people like everyone here that was like, okay, well maybe I can make some yield on top, and then I will park my tokens, which makes the tokens less volatile. It means there's less dumping on the market because now you have a reason to hold on to it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find like a token that has let's see if Kate has any other pairs. I'm trying to see how the routing works on here, but like pretty much any token that isn't.
Yeah, I think it's too new to really see is the thing, because they were saying
like
all the liquidity pools
only
are
has
open to the
Wax.
public. So this isn't fully open to the public, so it's only like a specific subset of people that they're beta testing with. So
let's see, Kate. Man, I would be creating so many different pairs and fucking around if I was beta testing this. Catnip. These are all paired with Wax, so that means that I should be able to trade Catnip for Kate, because it should be able to go Catnip to Kate to Wax, but it doesn't seem to let me. So I'm not sure if the routing is something that's live here or not, since there's clearly a Catnip Wax pool and there's a Kate Wax pool. Like,
so it sounds like when looking through the Taco white paper is that they will. So here, I'll show you what they posted at least. So like here, so it sounds like anyone can create an LP, but the project owners can add rewards. So these additional rewards are done so by respective teams or stakeholders, right? So this TLM will be put up by a project owner if they wanted to, like similar to what DeFi Box was doing. And same thing with Nefty, but it can have multiple rewards. So like the Taco team, you see this Nefty TLM pool, there's rewards in TLM, Nefty token, and Taco. So all three of those projects are choosing to add additional reward structuring to provide liquidity here.
Oh,
So something to keep in mind is like that can go away at any given time. I don't think that's unusual. You know, a lot of the incentivization programs and DXs, like on any chain, you know, they choose when to incentivize liquidity at a certain percentage or for how long, or, you know, a lot of times they have certain schedules that we're going to pay out, you know, Taco rewards 16x for 4 months, and then it'll go down to 4x for 2 months, and so on and so forth. So, you know, that's what you kind of have to pay attention to when if you want to engage in these sorts of things. And it looks like this one it has a literal countdown that you can look at and see, okay, these rewards will go on for 7 days, and then it'll reset, whether it's more or the same or less or not at all.
yeah. I'm curious to see how the routing works though, because it doesn't seem to be routing my trades when there is pools that have a common, like they all share Wax as the common base. Why can't I trade those two tokens directly for each other? Maybe that's just not like implemented yet or something, but that
Yeah, I'm not
should
sure
be
either. It seems a
that
little,
should
at
be the
least
case.
from to bring a real back, is that I don't think Taco Swap is at a place that we could take the 100 wax investment and put it in there right now. But it is something to
Yeah,
keep on the radar as they open this up to the public, and it's more complete. But it's something we can
yeah,
keep in the back pocket for now, because it does seem like these could be some decent rewards. Like 100 FD for in a week isn't bad.
yeah. Manasuerte might have a point too that project owner might not be the one who has to pay. Like it could be that anybody could incentivize any pool or
I
something. Who
think
knows?
anyone could put. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think anyone could put in the reward. That's my bad.
Yeah, yeah. Here and then
So
I guess
if you're
yeah,
yeah, like if you're Van or something, and you're like, hey man, uh, use my like my taco restaurant or whatever, my taco venue, and I'll put, you know, X amount of taco in this pool as a reward. If you do that, you know, it's like, I'm sure there's ways that whales or just large stakeholders can play around with that.
yeah, right. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. In the meantime, though, I am gonna take our 100 wax and continue to do the wax USDT pool. I think that's more like it's a little more metered, but at least it saves our 64 wax plus 9, like our 75 4 wax as a kind of like as that wax value for now while we wait for this to get back up to 100, and then we can. I think that's the move. Is like let's finish, keep disciplined, you know, keep the course, pull the principle until we have it back. So the best way to do that is going to be to take a look at what the prices are for Wax USD on SDT on these swaps. So I want half of my 9.2, which is 4 point, let's just say 6. Oh, no, 4.6.
Wait,
Which
so
I
that
would get.
9 wax is coming from
That was
your
from
selling your
selling
reward?
the CMW awards. Yes.
Okay. And so you've been doing that once a week, just compounding rewards into a Wax USDT pool.
Yeah. So let's see. 4.6 wax gets me 38.9 cents. Here, let's see what it gets me on Alcor. I prefer using Alcor because I supply most of the liquidity to that pool.
Oh,
So I get the sourcing fee. USDT here. So wax USDT. And then we got 4.6. 0.6. 39 cents. So it's a better deal. We're not getting 38.9, we're getting 39. So let's do that here. I'm gonna, yeah, that's great. I just got 39 cents of liquidity sourcing fees. So 0.3% of like 30 cents. Time to retire. Okay, now that I have my Wax USDT and my Wax, I'm going to go back to DeFi Box because that's where I'm trying to supply liquidity. Say liquidity. Here's where you can create your own liquidity pool. So if you have a token like BoxNR, for example, there is not already liquidity for it. So I could say add liquidity and then you set the price. So I could be like 4 Wax equals 100 or 1,000 BoxNR, say confirm, and then the liquidity pool will exist and people can start trading this. So that's like the whole thing about Taco and that as well. So you can just, anyone can make a liquidity pools here. I forget who it was, but somebody else made our Wax neon pool on this platform. I made the one on Alcor, but when DeFi Box first came out, someone in our community like found it before us and started like adding liquidity to our tokens here, which was kind of great. So I'm gonna go to add our liquidity now though. I want my USDT, say add liquidity, tell it to use my this part, which works. It's covered by the counterpart, so I have enough. So now I can sign this transaction.
But yeah, it does look like Taco Swap is closer to Alcor Exchange than to DeFi Box because it doesn't have the automated routing. So you have to go into whatever the pairs are. So you would have to go for whatever liquidity pools exist, and it won't route it for you. So you can only, like Max was trying to do, like, oh, what can I go Ether into, into Taco, and if those aren't paired, he would have to go Ether into Wax, and then Wax into that thing, and he would have to do that manually. Whereas on a DeFi Box and other DXs on other chains, it will, like Uniswap being the gold standard, it will do that for you.
Yeah, and it routes it based on the like best rate
Best
at the
path,
moment. Yeah, so I do really like that, and I feel like as someone entering the DEX space, Taco should include that. Like that is like that feels like something that is necessary if you're being a serious like swap exchange platform. Like requiring your liquidity that's available at your platform to be split into hundreds of different pools will lessen the liquidity available for every token.
Yeah, Baggy Hodler. I mean, I don't see it if it is. I mean, like if you're going here,
yeah. I mean, here's the test I was doing. It's like Taco
and so you
token.
like you want to go Taco into like, well, let's see. We'll go. Can I go Aether? I can only go Aether into Boost. I couldn't go Aether into something else. Like
That one at first, I was like that. I thought that was a weird thing, but then if you type Aether and Wax, there is no Wax pair for it. So if Boost and Aether, like if there's another pair out there for Boost and Wax, then there is no route.
Yeah,
so
but
so
like
that one made sense to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
but like,
but yeah, Brawl to Wax. I can't go Brawl into like CMX or whatever.
Like, why can't I go Brawl into Taco? Because there's definitely a Brawl and Taco pool. I can only do Brawl into Wax. See,
exactly.
So I make Brawl my so that's like, where's the routing? Why isn't it routing for me? And that if it doesn't route, that would make it like it would require users to split their liquidity. So
I don't see anything in this swap here that shows a route too. Typically, there's like a line here that tells you what the route is. So like maybe it's planning to be, but in its current iteration, I don't get how it's automated, but the automated market maker. But
yeah,
perhaps I'm wrong, and I didn't see anything specifically in the white paper either.
Just understanding how to use automated market makers. This is not functioning the way an automated market maker would function. Like the fact that I have Brawl
I'm not
here
throwing
and
shade. I'm just more semantics at this point. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not that.
It's not, because exactly like if we look at DeFi Box again, you have the same swap deal, and now if I go to more information, the swap path is able to route between assets that don't directly have liquidity pairs, and look at what, and you can trade Neon into all of these different tokens because of that, you know. So it's like the same would be true on Taco if I have my Brawl token up, like here, all, and you can see I can still trade into like any of this stuff, like Brawl into PLG if I do 10 Brawl. Like there is really like legitimate utility to that, whereas that like straight up doesn't seem possible here because the only option I have is Brawl into Wax.
Yeah, so it seems to, I mean, it seems to be like, and again, this isn't some like comment on whether it's good or bad. It's more like what
Right. It's
is
just,
it and what is it not. And so it sounds like they'll be interviewing with NFT Gamer TV today, so that's cool. And yeah, I mean, if you can answer that question for us, that'd be sweet.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm very curious
but yeah,
to
so
know if
this
they have.
seems like it's a half of both. It's the same swap style as Alcor Exchange currently is, but with the incentivization and reward structure that currently exists on DeFi Box. So it does seem to have both of those things now put into one platform, which I think is good. Honestly, the more
Yeah.
DeFi reward structuring there is on Wax, particularly, is great.
Yeah. The
So
one thing I will say about like part of a question from earlier, is there ever a negative side to having liquidity pools? I think the negative comes from having too many of the same liquidity pools. The fact that like here on the market, I can go and I can see there's 160,000 wax worth in this TLM wax pool. And then if I go to Alcor and I look for TLM here, TLM, LM, weird that it dropped it to the bottom. But if I look, if I look here at liquidity and flop this around so it shows me in terms of wax what the wax side of this is, there's about 350,000 wax in this pool on the wax side. So this is about 700,000 wax bilateral depth. And then there is 162,000 here. So if there wasn't two separate pools, this would be 860,000 wax of liquidity, making it much less in price impact to do bigger trades. And because assets like TLM exist on like Uniswap, I could, you know, do $1,000 arbitrage trade because the liquidity depth is deep enough to actually facilitate that. And so you can see that here if I do my swap between Wax and TLM, and I wanted to do this with like $1,000, to be like close to this. That's a 10%. So I'm paying almost $100 in slippage here. But I can do the same thing. Yoink. Here, I'm still paying 2.3%. If instead both these pools were one, this percentage would be lower and I would be able to make more functional trades, putting up more volume into the books, effectively, you know, making the DeFi scene more robust here. And now splitting those pools into two separate pools creates arbitrage between the pools and motivates, you know, people trading that arbitrage opportunity, but also reduces the ability of people to do, you know, larger transactions. Like
it does look like the fee, like the swap fee, is less on Taco. It was
yeah,
0.11%, whereas on Alcor and DeFi Box it's 0.3. For
3,
context, 0.3% is pretty par for the course
3.
in the grand DeFi scheme.
Yeah,
So
0.3 is the Uniswap standard.
that's kind
Set.
of like the universal standard. Whereas like so the fact that Tacos
Slipper
is
0.11.
0.11 is you know, basically a third of that,
Yeah.
is pretty interesting.
So they're looking for like basically to be able to say they're supplying like the cheapest liquidity on Wax, which would be true because everywhere else is charging you like 3 times as much
Yeah, I'd
for
have to
liquidity.
read the white paper. Maybe that's something that they're keeping it cheap to get it started and get it off the ground, and then it'll slowly like change over time. But I'd have to read more of the documentation.
Yeah, sourcing fees like this really only matters if the liquidity depth is deep. like right now, obviously, if I'm doing Brawl, if I do 10 wax, I'm taking a 9% hit here. So it's going to be a cheaper deal to go to DeFi box for Brawl, just because the liquidity depth is deeper and I don't take as much of a price impact from the lacking liquidity, So these things are nice to see, but man, it really won't make a difference until Taco is able to attract similar liquidity depth. And there is quite a bit of liquidity depth, and I would say like DeFi box is not the deepest liquidity place. I think Alcor is deeper, and there's millions of wax in these pools. So if they're able to do a similar thing, then that 0.1% sourcing fee becomes a factor. But if they aren't able to attract millions of wax to compete with the liquidity depth, then who cares if it's a slightly less liquidity fee if I'm basically paying more in price impact. So for the end user, what matters most is deep liquidity. And then again, to answer that question, if it's ever bad, like the bad part is when you split your liquidity pools. So something to see for that would be like, check this out. TLM, we see it has 130 million wax, or 150,000 wax, 350,000 wax of liquidity depth. But if we look at TLM is also paired with all of these other tokens. Each one of these tokens that shows up here is its own liquidity pool paired with TLM. So, for example, TLM A Ether, there is a liquidity depth here of 6,000 TLM further, like 6.7 or 6.6 thousand. That TLM, instead of being in a pool with TLM A Ether, should be in the TLM wax pool to make that pool the deepest. Then there should be a very deep wax A Ether pool. And then when I make my TLM A Ether trade, I go TLM wax, super deep liquidity, very low price impact. And then wax A Ether, super deep liquidity, very low price impact. This fracturing of liquidity pools that is done by Alcor and has kind of become like an acceptable standard on the wax token like front is detrimental to trading, and it reduces the available liquidity depth for actual trading because it splits the depth between every single pair. It's not I'm not a fan of seeing that, and I really hope that Taco isn't planning on doing something like that, because that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's a detriment
Like,
to the value that
yeah.
DEXs bring to the wax ecosystem.
And it
All right, I'm
is
going to use this
clearly
as a stopping point here.
Yeah.
I'm going to run Stream Raiders. Speaking of, it's Taco Tuesday for NFT Gamer TV. So they just went live, and they're going to be talking to the Taco team probably about these very same things. So now that you have our unsolicited opinion on tacos, well, I guess it was solicited. Now that you have our opinion on Taco Swap, at least in its current iteration, you are well informed to go into this next piece. So I'm going to run Stream Raiders here.
I'll definitely be interested
quick
in
buying the dip
too.
And
I'd like to know what they say about that, because trade routing is what makes an automated market maker what it is. Like, the whole point of automated market making is automating the route of trading. Like,
okay, they're with Taco Racers. My bad. So that's like their game. So maybe not. But either way, we talked a lot of Taco. So
yeah, start throwing them some Taco swap questions. It's also like we said, it's still like an beta or whatever, so we might not even be looking at it in its final form or whatever. So
yeah, but if our input matters, make it an automated market maker.
Yeah, and the routing of trades is a separate smart contract within like that ecosystem. So it is possible that contract isn't live yet, and the routing just isn't part of the equation just yet, but is still being implemented. So first look, it looks like it's not implemented yet, and I'm disappointed if it's not part of the equation, but it might be.
right.
That said, I do really think DeFi Box is a pretty legitimate like operation on Wax these days. As far as the like liquidity depth is pretty deep in several of their pools, and the routing and trading works really fucking seamlessly.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and play ourselves out. This is not financial advice as always, but it's just a good old jam, and then we'll raid into Taco will be on tomorrow, or an NFT Gamer TV. Sorry, we're on tomorrow at the same time at noon our time, 19 UTC. We'll do just kind of a shop talk about Wax. Then on Thursday, we'll interview Shifty Bears. On Friday, we'll do Off the Rails. And then Saturday, we've been playing Fall Guys, which was really fun last week. A lot of good turnout there. We had probably close to 20 people playing, so that was a good time. So if you are bored on the weekend and want to play Fall Guys with us, we'll do NFT giveaways as well, which is free to play on all major platforms. So, well, thanks for sticking with us in a Lou-less day, and don't do or do not buy the dip.
Oh, that's okay. I am with you, with you. Oh man, your boy
Kevin
just lost lots of money. Oh,
Dude,
that's okay.
that was me with my options.
I am with you.
Your boy Mark
Yeah.
lost lots of money.
Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop
Yeah, I can't-
was short. GameStop was short.
Lou does the
Short. You
dance.
can't
I
allow
only
Wall
do-
Street
I
to
can only-
short.
I can only do the dance for a few
75% of its crush these companies
Bob
into
my head
the
a bit.
dirt. Thousands of stocks into the dirt. Then when the individual makes money, everyone's entrepreneurs. I have a kid who bought a house, paid $50,000 and bought a house. After decades of the shorts, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, push it, push it, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go.
This narc thing's getting out of hand.
What's happening?
There's a lot of power in organizations online. 2 million people can get together in a subreddit. I think it's really funny that the GameStop stock is going up and just affects the market in that way. There's 20,000 people live in a Discord.
All right, well,
who are
thanks for joining us, guys,
standing
and
emojis, yelling
say hi to
"Go
NFT Gamer
Lou."
TV.
Yeah. See you on the moon.
See you on the moon.